From the beginning, Charles Pathé had a respect for what would later become the concept of auteurs, as he allowed filmmakers like Zeca, who worked for and with him, a level of freedom in their choice of early film genre and development of individual director units. Thanks to the archives of British Pathé, we are able to see how, in the early stages, we find single-shot attractions and actualities such as this comedic short. This film reveals early attempts at telling a story within one frame or a single shot, not motivated by cuts, but by action within the frame. This actuality of New York reaches a level of monstration as cuts are motivated by the movement of the train car within the frame. However, ends up being more of an actuality depicting the novelty of film. The Victims of Alcoholism is a profound early attempt at narrative integration, as Zeca utilizes a thematic connection between the cuts in that it creates in a gradual progression and rise of action, a characteristic of the not yet fully developed narrative. We see the family of an alcoholic, and there is a cut to the same alcoholic, presumably in a drunk take, tormented into revealing they themselves are the final victim. Unfortunately, Zeca utilizes an overly theatrical framing, and it comes across as a series of staged actualities which happen to be related. This is an example of early attempts at utilizing color through the painstaking method of individually hand-painted color frames with stencils. It follows Tom Gunning's criteria for cinema of attraction via the incredible display of visual elements. The final product of the painted color picture, the stencil color film print technique, was mechanized and dubbed Pathé color. We can see here a significant improvement in the quality of color within the film. As if he had felt the horrible fate awaiting him, the unfortunate inventor hesitated long before launching himself into the void. A tragic actuality which covers the final moments through 3 cuts motivated by action as they jump and fall to the ground from the top of the Eiffel Tower. This series still relies on long title cards for exposition. An early form of POV is utilized, creating a simplistic relation from watching her to being her watching the thing that she is holding. Even though the mobilization in 1914 of the Territorial Army halted the French industry for only 6 months, once they were able to begin again, it was at nowhere near the pre-war levels of production. This kept Pathé, among other French and European companies, from continuing the same level of production and distribution as before. The void left during the war was quickly filled by the American cinema.